So, Disney's Frozen. I really didn't like it. You know how I knew I really didn't like it? Because being in a semi-struggling household in New York with my mother, I lost cable for like 2 weeks once upon a time ago. When that happens, we just go through a bunch of DVDs we have. That specific time, we borrowed some from my brother. As I looked at what he had, I saw, you guessed it, Frozen. I figured, hey, there's music in this. It should hold me over pretty well. Sure, why not? And then I played it, and I didn't like it. So I did the natural thing to do when you don't like a movie, and play it again. And again. And again. For probably like 12 times or something. Okay, look, hear me out. The only reason I replayed it so much was mainly because I didn't really feel like switching out the movie. It had music, and it was animated. So it was good enough brain-dead material to have in the background when I was, you know, drawing or something. Point is, I really don't like Frozen. And to an extent, I think it's a really boring and dumb movie. So when 2019 rolled around and we got the trailer for Elsa trying to run on water and everything, not gonna lie, I was a little interested just because she was using her powers in a more interesting way. Even though she did that in the first movie, it just looked better in the second one, and it looked like she had more control over what she was doing. But, of course, me not liking the first one, there was a big part of me that was just going, Cut to the night of April 2nd, 2020, I just finished watching Frozen 2. And I have opinions. Not gonna lie, I think a part of me was expecting to dislike it based off of the first one alone. I'm aware you shouldn't do that. I try not to. Shut up. Before I talk about Frozen 2 though, I want to talk about the first for 2 reasons. 1, it'll give me more context for my riveting take on the sequel. And 2, I probably would have never made a Frozen video at this point in time. So let's shit on a snowman! So I guess I'm just gonna go through some of the beats of the movie and then just tell you my issues. Movie start! Anna and Elsa are little cute girls who act like little cute girls. Cute! Anna gets fucking owned. Comedy. We head to Trolls. And here is my first issue with this movie. These goddamn rocks. Fuck these rocks. If I saw these rocks when I was a kid, when I used to collect rocks in cups, I wouldn't pick them up. These freaking trolls are basically the entire reason everything happens in this movie. Fucking Dark Magician over here decides to change Anna's memories. For what reason? It does nothing but create problems for not only both Anna and Elsa through their childhood, but is the reason that there is a conflict to begin with. For someone with magical and relatively unknown magical powers, that was a dumb thing to do. You could have scared Elsa into understanding the importance of learning how to control her powers without having her become a total shun-in for her entire childhood. She solely looked towards her parents for comfort because of this, and didn't have enough emotional anything to be able to go to her own fucking sister. A sister who, despite all her neglect, is a very positive, passionate, fun, and caring person in general. Her living in fear and all of the issues to come from it is all because of that troll. Okay, moving on. Boom! Coronation happens. Anna meets the dude whose name I couldn't be bothered to remember and don't feel like looking up. They click. It's weird. Elsa is reasonably like, bitch, are you stupid? Stop trying to give out on the first night. Some emotional outbursts later, and eternal winter. With that, boom! A journey in sight. Anna goes off to try to get Elsa. What? Wait, no, please! Oh, would you look at that? A big blonde boy with a big dog. Road trip begins. Banter ensues. Never mind wolf chase. Rip a nice wood sled. So far, all of that stuff I think is great. But what's that voice in the distance? It sounds unpleasant and stupid? Oh no! Introduce Olaf. This buck-toothed pile of white sand is, honest to God, one of the worst companion things, right next to the dumb chicken in Moana. I get that he's connected to Elsa in basically every way possible, and it's in their childhood thing, but I get no sense of real entertainment from this character in the slightest. Not once. Ever! Cut to Arendelle, blah blah blah, angry old dude sends 2 guys to kill Elsa, fun. Back at the ice tower, there's more emotional sister shit and Anna gets owned. Again. Nice. Cue Olaf on steroids, they fall off cliff, rough boy Kristoff takes Anna to the rock. Worst song in the movie, yada yada yada. Act of true love, what a fucking coincidence. Attempted murder, Elsa's back at Arendelle, Anna gets back and gets kinda owned again by whoop, surprise, twist, villain, Olaf gets Anna out. Hans tries killing Elsa in the middle of the frozen ocean. Anna freezes in front of Elsa to save her. And then sister love cures Anna. Yay! Elsa gets her shit together, Anna gets with Kristoff and gives him a new sled. And that's what matters the most. Oh, and Olaf is there too. Okay, let's talk about the bullshit! I already swiftly talked about why I hate the trolls and their responsibility for basically the entire movie. But other than that, let's talk about a few other things. First off, the only really good interactions in this movie are with Anna and Kristoff. They play off each other super well and they have a really good chemistry. They're both just really fun characters and they work. And out of any modern Disney couple, they're fine by me. I kinda love him. Second, Hans fucking sucks. If you want to do a twist villain, fine, do it. But it's revealed within like, what, the last 20 minutes of the fucking movie? Maybe less? It definitely feels like less, that's for sure. As a twist villain, he does absolutely nothing except lie about stuff, which is then exposed as lies like maybe 5 or 10 minutes after the fact. He leans way too much on the facade and kind of forgets about being a villain thing. He's lame, and I hate his sideburns. The old dorky asshole could have been a completely fine villain alone. He wouldn't have been the greatest villain by any means, but he would have been fine. He already wanted Elsa dead, so why not really dig into that? If you really wanted Hans to be a character, he still could have been there. And when we get to the scene where he's tending to people in Arendelle, he could just lean full-on good guy, try to stop them right then and there, and maybe just get locked up and do something at the very end. Anna still has to get with Kristoff. Han has to go back to that other fucking kingdom due to the actions of Short Man Dorklord, whether that be to oversee his punishment or lead the kingdom. Either one works. Bad villain, bad. 3! And maybe one of the more important things, the music is fucking garbage. There are two songs in the movie that I deem actually good. First Time in Forever and Let It Go. And to be honest, Let It Go should barely count. Build a Snowman is very much annoying. Love is an Open Door is catchy, but that's about it, and it's still not great. And it's technically Hans's villain song if you really want to go that far, and that's just depressing. Olaf's summer song makes me want to actually cough blood. And I think that's it. The music is bad, and that really sucks because everyone who sings in the movie has really good voices, and I like hearing them sing. It's just a shame that almost all of them are bad. Frozen does a few things that, to me, cause big problems for the entire film. The best thing about this movie is Anna and Kristoff, and that's about it. Sure, it's a pretty movie too, but aside from that, I don't think Frozen is a good movie. I can deal with watching it, but it does not deserve the praise it got by any means. This was one of the most overhyped Disney movies I think ever. Although I haven't really talked about one person, and that's Elsa, and well, there's a reason for that. But to get to that, I need to talk about Frozen 2 first, because I was pleasantly surprised. Quick caveat to this. I have seen Frozen like 12, 13 times, so I went through a journey of thinking it was okay to just straight bad. I saw Frozen 2 for the first time, and I might see it again with my mom tomorrow.
I did.
So either way, my opinions on this sequel are subject to change in the future, but for now, it's pretty positive all around, so going through this as quickly as possible. Elsa awakens the 4 elements that are in the forest that hold secrets that she and the others need to unravel to protect Arendelle. The forest was last entered years ago when their father was young and the people from the kingdom went into battle with them, and the mist blocked anyone from entering and leaving the forest. This is pretty important, I guess. Exposition. There you go.
Fun.
They get to the forest and learn their mother was part of the people who lived there and could control air. And the people who have been there since the fight are still there and are unaware of basically everything. Oh, and something about there being a 5th link to the elements. Gee, I wonder what that could be. A voice that's been calling Elsa from the very beginning takes her and Anna to the ship their parents died on. I mentioned their parents got owned, right? They figured out that they were going to an area I could never truly understand what the name was. So Elsa decided to head there alone and leave the very overprotective Anna alone with Olaf. Anna and Olaf pass earth giants into a cave while Elsa reaches where she needed to go. There's the truth about the past and learn they need to destroy a dam that was apparently gifted to the forest people, but then just kind of freezes like Anna did before. Okay, I guess she dived too deep. I don't fucking know. She sent a snow message of the truth to Anna because I guess she died. I guess that means Olaf died. Anna goes on her own to lure the Earth Giants to the dam, where Kristoff swoops in to help. Wait, where the fuck have you been? Dam gets destroyed, water falls, heading to destroy Arendelle, but because of that, Elsa unfreezes and stops the water. Elsa goes back to Anna and brings Olaf back. Damn it! Kristoff proposes to Anna, and yeah, no shit. What, was she gonna say no? Of course she said yes. Elsa and Anna realize that Elsa is the fifth link, and that she'll stay in the forest with the elements while Anna becomes queen of Arendelle. Happy days. Okay, I hit, like, the main points just for better context. And yeah, Frozen 2 is pretty fucking alright. Much like the first movie, it doesn't really waste any time in getting to the main goal, and it always feels like something is happening. The story and scenario itself is just generally more interesting to both in location and objective. Climbing one fucking mountain can really only be so interesting, let's be real. I think we all learned that playing Kingdom Hearts 3. Every song in this movie is better than every song in the first Frozen. Even the bad ones! Anna's song when she's all alone in the cave? Eh. Olaf's song when they first get into the forest, having fun visuals, but the song itself is eh. Elsa gets 2 songs, and Into the Unknown is clearly better than... what, Show Yourself? Is that the name? And Into the Unknown even made Arendelle's theme relevant to the story, which is pretty neat. And even though I think Into the Unknown is a superior song, I think Brendan Urie's version of the song is infinitely better. That man has got it. But boy! Who the fuck thought Kristoff would have the best song with Lost in the Woods paired with an early 2000s inspired boy band take with reindeer? I ain't joking, I fucking love this shit. But speaking of visuals, oh my god, this movie looks fucking great. But of course it does. It's Pixar. You saw what they did with Toy Story 4? Like, fuck, that movie looked insanely good. So of course this movie would look good. Like I said, Kristoff's piece is delicious. The trailer scene with Elsa at the ocean and the fight scene with the water spirit is probably the best looking thing in the whole movie. As much as I really don't like Olaf in the first one, he's actually not horrible in this one, and he's animated great. The forest is beautiful. Elsa's vision spirit thing with the particles during Into the Unknown reminded me of the night show at the Disney park. It looked so pretty. It's a pretty good movie. So much better than the first movie. And that's really all with a lack of any villain, because there really isn't one. I guess the villain is the past, but that's not really the point of the movie. So with upgrades across the board in basically every regard, I do still have some issues, which I really only have 3 of. First off, as great as this movie looks, I'm not sure if it's me getting a different taste for character design or what, but I really felt like Elsa and Anna were just off. Disney and Pixar have their staple look for their female characters, and it's been that way for a while already. Maybe it was how the rest of the movie looked, but it felt like the trademark Disney female face just wasn't fitting. I'm not sure how to explain it, because Anna overall looks fine. It's just sometimes when I would look at them, it just seemed off. Maybe I feel like this is just based off of the profile shots, but something feels not great about it. It also honestly seemed kind of ugly and off for me for the whole movie though. Also, stop making female characters wear fucking heels! Second, Kristoff got fucking shafted in this movie. His whole shtick is just trying to propose to Anna, and that's all fine and good, but after the second time it happened, I to myself went, it's the last one he's gonna be doing. But after the 4th time, which wow, we even made it to 4, he just disappeared for the movie. It's like the last 15 minutes to hardly do anything. Kristoff is my favorite character in the Frozen movies along with Anna, so him basically getting entirely bumfucked really sucked. That being said, my problem with Kristoff leads into the other main issue I had, and that's the interactions between him and Anna. I already said their interactions and banter was my favorite part of the first movie, and in this one, it's just painful. For some reason, Anna is super insecure and annoying in response to nearly everything Kristoff says to her. Yeah, it was probably done for the whole failing thing and comedy's sake, but I didn't find that shit funny at all. It was just annoying. Also, I don't think the people making the movie really had anything for him to do, since the plot is so heavily based around Anna and Elsa. So they just tried to find a way to make him irrelevant, but in doing so, you made Anna less likable. But other than that, other than those 2 things, I think this movie is alright. Huh? Oh no, I forgot. Her. Elsa is easily the worst character in this universe. And that's taking into consideration Olaf. She has nearly no positive emotions or personality in both films. Sure, I can understand in the first, she basically isolated herself for her whole childhood and she had plenty of things to figure out, so it would make sense for her to be a Debbie Downer to an extent. I put fault in basically the entire movie story in the hands of those fucking trolls, but let's be real. Elsa nearly killed 2 men. Really doesn't help anyone's case. You're afraid of your own powers. You can't fully grasp how to use them. Yeah, I get that. But you would think cold murder doesn't take any unwanted attention off your back. Hell, even before that, Anna is being a good sister and person overall, trying to reach out and solve both Arendelle's problem and sister problems. And instead of being level-headed in the slightest, Elsa acts like a fucking theater kid really trying to give it her all. You would think after all this time, with all these problems, now, in a fucking crystallized castle away from everyone, would be the time to have an honest conversation and open up about everything and let in the only family you have and the only person not against you. She's needlessly moody and it is not likable. But hey, she realizes how important love is and her emotions to her powers and all that, so she should be better down the line, right? No, not really. Elsa in the sequel has had plenty of time around the people in the kingdom that she's ruling, finally spending time with her sister and being social. You would think this would make her change at least a little, but no, hardly. Like, barely. She's able to talk with Anna now for the most part. And she's very run in and get shit done, which that's neat, but she's still mostly soulless in any other aspect. The most we get of a personality is her first interaction with that fire spirit, and that's barely anything. Sure, her whole thing in this is how she feels like she belongs somewhere else, and that there's something else out there for her. And that's all fine and dandy, but that doesn't mean you can't have a fucking personality. She's boring and emotional, and it's fucking boring to watch. The most character she has is when she's singing, but 3 minutes of singing isn't gonna make up for the rest of the hour and a half. Also fucking sucks massive dong, and that's the unfortunate truth. And with all of that, this has been my Frozen experience. I still don't really like Frozen, but Frozen 2 did a pretty good job. I gotta say though, this sequel does so well because of the first one and what it built up. Mainly with the parents and kind of building upon that. It's one of those rare cases where the sequel is definitely better than the first. Having Disney Plus, who knows how often I'll come back to this movie. Bye!